Hello beautiful friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today's video is all about why I hate living in LA. I'm kidding. Hate is a very harsh word. I don't really hate much of anything. I just want to be a little dramatic with the title, but I don't hate it here. I just don't love it, don't enjoy it, and it's not where I want to be. Basically, as you guys know, I came here, maybe you don't know, I came here like 3 weeks ago now, I think. I literally have less than 2 weeks left, which is crazy to me. But anyway, I came here for a month. I have always had this dream of living in LA, literally ever since I was little. I think when I was like 14 or so, I made this Instagram account with my friend. It was called like Cali Girls 14 or something like that. And we just like posted pictures of California. It was basically like a California fangirl account. So I've always wanted to live here. I was just feeling called to just come here for a month. I came here for the first time over my birthday last year. So last March, I came for like a week with my friends, and it was one of the best weeks of my life. And during that trip, I was like, I want to live there. I don't know how long, but I want to live there. And then I went back for another trip with my same friends back in November, and this second trip felt a little different. The first time we were there, it was my first time here. I was kind of like on a high of it all. I was kind of starstruck by it all. It was my birthday. Like, I released my first ebook. There were so many like positive things going on. It was my first trip since recovering from my eating disorder. There were so many positive things going on. And so I think that just made it feel like this dream and just like such a beautiful place. And then the second time I came back in November, we stayed in an Airbnb. We wanted to like treat it more like we live here. And some things felt off that time, I'm not gonna lie. It felt very much like the parts of New York that I didn't enjoy. If you didn't know, I've lived in New York for a total of almost 2 years, off and on, because I was a fashion model in a previous life. That's what it feels like. I lived in New York off and on for like 2 years total. And during that time, like, again, at the beginning of living in New York, it was always a dream of mine. I was on a high of it all. And then towards the end, I was absolutely just hated living there. I felt so anxious. I hated how fast paced it was. It just really fed my anxiety in not a good way. I got out of New York and I was like, you know, LA is a little different. Like, there's the hiking, there's beaches, like there's nature that I love. And I thought maybe I would love having that combined with a big city, so I could have kind of the best of both worlds. But when I came for this last trip in November for like a week with my friends, I had the components that I loved, but I also this time felt that of a big city life that I just don't enjoy. I knew I still wanted to give it a solid try, like actually living here. And for some reason, I just felt called to do this in January. I've just been feeling called to kind of be out on my own again. And I really wanted it to just be January. Like, all of last year, I was like, January is gonna be it. For some reason, I just felt the urge to go in January. I booked an Airbnb and made the road trip down here with my mom, as you guys saw in that vlog. And here we are. I've been here for about 3 weeks now, so I have a good taste of what it's like to live here. And pretty quickly after I got here, I realized it's not it. Honestly, maybe even like the first day I was here, I realized it's not it. And I think that's a big thing for me. And I just kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit, because for the longest time, I think I've always known that I'm not a city girl. But for the longest time, I've just fought so much with that, because I think our society just puts like New York and LA on such pedestals, and we put like big cities on such pedestals, and it's like, you're cool if you live there, you're cool if you live here. Like, I just feel like that's kind of what it is. People are like, oh, you live in LA, that's so cool. You live in New York, that's so cool. So I was kind of like running on that for a bit and trying to chase that, I feel like. And I think I just always thought it would be cool and people would think I was cool if I lived here, and like, attention, approval of others, like all this stuff. And so it's a really big step for me to, like, it shows a lot of my growth, and I'm really proud of this. Like, I came here wanting to see if it was gonna be a good fit long term, and I noticed very quickly that it's not. And I am a-okay with that. Like, I have no hesitation to try to force it, which old Gabby would have tried to force it. Old Gabby tried to force a lot of things that did not feel good in her life. And I love that this healed version of me is just like, that's not for me. And I'm okay to say it. I'm okay to tell people that. It's just not for me. So I think that's a really cool place to be in. And just like a little reminder for you guys, if something doesn't feel right in your life, don't try to force it. Whether that's a job, whether that's your school, whether that's a career, whether that's where you live, like whatever it is, don't try to force it if it doesn't feel good to you and if it doesn't bring you peace. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there because it's something I've been really thinking about recently, and just really grateful to be where I am in this place where I'm not trying to force things that don't fit in my life. And I think that's really cool. So moving on to the reasons why I don't like LA. And I just want to disclaim, like, me saying I don't like LA should not keep any of you who have this dream to come to LA to not come to LA. I want you to give it a try yourself. Like, maybe do what I did if you're kind of questioning it. Come for a month, give it a try yourself. But lots of people really do say they love it here. So maybe you would actually love it here. So don't take what I'm saying. If you want to come here, don't take what I'm saying as a, like, to scare you off, because that's not what it's meant for. It's just me sharing my truth, why I don't like it, educating you on some of the things that go on behind the scenes, because it's so easy to see, like, even on my Instagram, like, I'm posting all these beautiful pictures at the beach and with good food, and it looks like this amazing highlight reel, but that's just not the reality. So I kind of want to share a bit of the behind the scenes reality of living in LA. And I'm also going to be sharing reasons why I do love it here. So hang around for that. I will definitely be sharing that after I share the reasons why I don't enjoy it here. So reasons why I don't love LA. I think the biggest thing is just, I feel like there's always something to stress about here. Whether that's the traffic, whether that's parking, whether that's your safety, whether that's, there's just so much to stress about here. I feel like I'm constantly on edge, and the only moments I'm not, like, on edge, and the only moments I feel like I can breathe are when I'm either, like, in my apartment or on the beach. But it's not like I just walk out of my back door and I'm on the beach. I have to go through the stressful 40 minutes to an hour of driving to get to the beach, and then parking at the beach, which kind of take away from the whole experience and make it not so peaceful. So about the parking, that's something I was not expecting. I'm so grateful I brought my car, because I would have felt so trapped had I not, and we'll get into that. But parking here is a nightmare. Like, a nightmare, especially for someone who is not good with parallel parking and who doesn't trust themselves to parallel park. Like, it's a nightmare. You feel like you're gonna get a ticket, you're gonna get towed. There's like hour limits everywhere. There are these signs that say you can't park here from this time to this time on this day, so you're constantly stressed. And it's like hour-long parking, 2-hour-long parking. You can only park here if you're shopping here, but it's still hour-long parking. You can only park on this street at certain times of the day, but don't park on the red line. Make sure you're not touching the crosswalk. So many things to stress about, and I was really not expecting that part of it. At home, I can park wherever, whatever parking lot I want to, and I can take however long. I could park there all day and it would be fine, and like, I don't have to stress about parking whatsoever back at home. And here, it's like literally everywhere I go, it's stressful. You either have to pay for your parking, or you're gonna be stressed out about your car getting towed, or you getting a ticket. Speaking of tickets, I did get a ticket, a $438 ticket. I was like, I'm just gonna go to Malibu. I'm gonna go to this new beautiful beach that I found. It's called Point Dume. It's actually stunning. It's my favorite beach. I go to it all the time now. but I did my research before. I was like, I'm gonna research and look at the parking before I go so I don't have to stress about it. I did all my research. I got there. They were like, there are 10 free parking spots at the top, but it's first come, first served, but there are 10 of them. And I was like, perfect, I'm gonna go. I got there, I saw the 10 parking spots. One person was leaving right as I was coming. It was absolutely perfect. I had to parallel park, but I did it and I was so proud of myself. I took a picture of my parking job. I sent it to my parents because I was so proud of parallel parking. Everything felt great. I went and I explored this beautiful, stunning beach, and I just had this beautiful day. And then I walked back to my car, got in my car, everything was good. I drove away, and as I was driving away, as I merged onto the highway, I saw a little ticket in my windshield just flapping in the wind. I was like, oh great. So I pulled off, took out the ticket, saw it, $438. And I was so confused. I had a breakdown. I called my mom and cried because it's the first time I've ever gotten a ticket. And I was so confused because I was like, I did my research, like this was free parking. And I read the ticket and it said violation, handicap/crosshatch. And I was like, I made sure I was not in a handicap position. I saw a handicap parking spot and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna park there. And so I went to one that was not a handicap parking spot. So again, I was just very confused. And then I was like, oh, I took a picture and sent it to my parents because I was so proud of parallel parking. And so I went back and I looked at that picture. So there was the handicap parking spot here. And then right next to it, there was this little crosshatch section for, it was kind of like a little crosswalk for a wheelchair to go through. So handicap parking spot, crosshatch, wheelchair crossing, my parking spot. My back tire was literally like 2 inches over this crosswalk, and they charged me $438 for that. So there's that. Had a very good breakdown about that. Very good cry about that. So yeah, the parking is very, very stressful part of living here. Moving on to the next stressful part, and that is obvious, the traffic. I hate driving here. People are not kind. Literally my very first time driving here, I got honked at twice just because I was not turning fast enough. People are just not very kind here driving. But I am very proud of myself, I will say, because I didn't get my license until like 2 years ago, and I have completely avoided all highways ever since. Never driven on a highway until I got to LA. Probably should have practiced in Texas before I came here, but it's fine, I didn't. And so my first time driving on the highway was driving in LA, and I'm very, very proud of myself for doing that and conquering that fear, and it's no longer a fear for me. I still get anxious, but it's fine. So I'm proud of myself for driving in LA traffic and driving on LA highways, but it's not an enjoyable experience, I will say that. I feel like that one's to be expected, but it really does. Like, I go to Malibu to get away from stress and to breathe and to have peace, and I feel like just from the drive back, I've kind of counteracted the peace that I had at the beach just from the driving. So, so there's that. Next thing I don't love about LA, I don't feel safe. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with where my apartment is. And I was kind of expecting that coming into it, but it was the best one I could find. And yeah, it's like I am like a street over from the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I was like, oh, it's a very touristy area, it'll be fine. Like, I was expecting it, but I don't feel safe walking in my neighborhood. I've seen, and I don't want to sound like I'm speaking down on these people at all, but the homeless people here are a little scary. Like, I've seen many interactions of them like running after people, and I've heard many stories of people like getting punched in the back of the head, and just like that, I just don't feel safe walking alone in my neighborhood. And that makes me feel very claustrophobic, which that's kind of my next point. I just feel very confined here and very claustrophobic because I can't just walk out my door and go on a walk. Like at home, if I want to go on a walk in the middle of the day, I can just walk out my front door and go on a walk out my back door and go on a walk. And here, if I want to go on a walk, I have to get in my car and drive somewhere that I feel safe to go on a walk. I'm grateful that I do have a car, and I'm grateful that there are little places where I love to go on walks and I feel safe and I feel at peace walking there. But it's very tough for me. I'm someone that like needs walks for my mental health, and it's very tough for me to not be able to just walk out my door and go and walk and feel at peace. I think that's it. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. The main thing is just I don't feel at peace here. I feel very on edge most of the time. I feel like I can't breathe most of the time. The only times I feel like I can breathe are when I'm, you know, going on my walks in this neighborhood that I love to go on, or when I'm at the beach, and the drive and the parking to both of those places really takes away from that. So that's kind of like the rundown of what I don't love about living here. Yeah, I don't want to end this video on like a downer note, so I'm going to share the things that I love about here. I think the first, I love the nature that you can escape to. So I love the hiking. I love the health and wellness space here, all the incredible restaurants, the vegan food, Erewhon, the grocery stores, the farmers markets. Oh my gosh, I love the farmers markets. That's one of my absolute favorite parts about being here, is just the farmers markets. I love escaping to the beaches. That's probably all around my top favorite thing, is just escaping to Malibu and just spending time in Malibu at the beach. I feel most like me, most at peace when I'm on a beach. And so moving forward, that is my goal. I have a couple places in mind and some exciting things, some exciting trips that might be happening soon, which I'm very, very excited about. So stay tuned on my next little month-long journey. I feel most me and most at peace at a beach, and I'm now that I've checked off the box of living in LA, checked off the box of living the big city life, I can now say that I am not a city girl, and I crave small, slow, quiet, peaceful towns on a beach. And so that's what I'm on the hunt for now, just a cute little beachy town where I can just wake up and walk to the beach and walk to a farmer's market and walk everywhere and just live a very peaceful Zen life. Like, that's the goal. My computer's about to die, so I gotta wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to any of you who are wanting to move here. I don't want to turn you off again, like you have to try for you. I'm so glad I did this trip because I would have never known. I would have always wondered. So if you're considering moving here, I definitely suggest you give it a try, but be gentle with yourself in the process. And it's okay. It's okay if you had a dream of living somewhere and you got there and it's not what you thought. Don't try to force it if it doesn't feel good. You want to live a life that feels good, not a life that looks good. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Sorry, my camera died, but I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Be kind to yourself, friends.